Windy and warm out there today, but a taste of summer getting ready to transition into the real deal fall chill. I'm tracking it next.
Friends and family continue to grieve the loss of Trinity Gay, who was killed over the weekend. We'll hear from some of her classmates. And someone is passing fake $100 bills in southern Kentucky, a sheriff being one of the victims.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Welcome to WKYT News at 4. I'm Amber Philpott reporting. Summer temperatures and the heart of fall will roll on for another day or two before some big changes move in. Those numbers will get wiped out as we usher in rain and some cooler air. I want to check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Amber. Those numbers out there right now are pretty darn toasty. 80 to 85 into most of central and eastern Kentucky. Winds today have been cranking to around 40 miles per hour at times, and that's what we are dealing with again with most thermometers this afternoon. 80 to 85. Here's your live sky cam, and you've got the fall colors. Those trees have been losing a lot of leaves here over the past little bit. Some clouds beginning to thicken up across the region as well, coming in from the west and the northwest. And again, at times we had a peak gust closing in on 40 miles per hour today. A little cloud cover into parts of north central Kentucky. Thicker overcast to our north and northwest, where you have a little weak front that is on the move toward the south and southeast. Out ahead of it, that warm southerly flow, chilly air, then colder air coming in behind that. But later this evening, we have to be on guard for at least an isolated shower or thunderstorm. Future radar suggesting that by 11 o'clock or so, around midnight, we could be talking about a little isolated rumble of thunder, northern Kentucky, middle of the night. Don't be surprised if you don't hear a clap or two of thunder as we start to see those changes ramping up as we go into Wednesday and especially Thursday. Wait until you see that drop. We'll share it with you with a new hour-by-hour forecast, Amber, coming up in 15 minutes from now.
Chris, thank you. It has been another tough day for students at Lafayette High School after losing a classmate. 15-year-old Trinity Gay was killed Sunday morning when she was hit by a stray bullet in the parking lot of a Lexington restaurant. Hundreds turned out at the high school last night for a vigil, including Trinity's father, Olympian Tyson Gay. Today, a memorial outside the school continues to grow in size. WKYT's Lauren Miner talked with students who knew Trinity. It's our top story at 4.
Trinity Gay left a legacy at Lafayette High School. Today, there were many hugs and tears shared between classmates as they stood in front of Trinity's memorial.
The fact that I've been right here with her, like, so recently, just unreal.
Jerseys, shoes, balloons all hang from the fence outside Lafayette's track, some with personalized messages.
I'm so glad that I've known her for a short time, but it just feels like forever I've known her. It's really hard because I didn't think I'd lose her. She's had a really big impact on everyone's lives.
A very difficult time for students, but they say what's helping them through is the memories they did get to share with Trinity.
She made herself close to everybody, and so everybody's got their own things. But I remember, like, when we were playing soccer, like, we'd just stop and laugh and sing High School Musical or something.
They say losing Trinity has made them realize just how short life can be and how important it is to make every memory count.
It really is unfortunate that for someone with such a bright future, she couldn't even make it that far. And I just hate to see that because she is so bright, you know, she's one of a kind. There'll never be another Trinity. And I just love everything about her, and I just hate what happened to her.
In Lexington, Lauren Miner, WKYT.
Well, students say their teachers allowed them to spend some time during class to visit that memorial. As you just saw, they spent that time with other classmates standing in silence, giving each other support. Trinity Gay also has family in western Kentucky. Her great-aunt, Wendy Hardiman Bell, lives in Russellville. Wendy's daughter, Lexus Bell, was shot and killed back in August. And like Tyson Gay, Wendy says she, too, is calling for an end to the senseless violence.
The violence needs to stop. Guns don't make you nobody. Packing a gun don't make you nobody. Drugs, fast money don't make you. Go get it.
The three men charged in connection to the shooting have all pled not guilty. DeMarcio Taylor, his father, Chazare Taylor, and Devonta Middlebrooks are charged with wanton endangerment. At this time, Lexington police say they are not looking for any other suspects in connection to Trinity's death. Coming up on WKYT News at 5, you'll hear from Lexington's Social Services Commissioner, who also says the violence needs to stop. We're working on a number of other stories for you on WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick joins us now from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Hi, Sam.
Good afternoon, Amber. Some southern Kentucky businesses being warned about phony money. The Whitley County Sheriff's Office says that counterfeit $100 bills like these have been used in Corbin. Now, police say markers designed to spot fake bills did not detect the fake bills, and they say someone even used the fake cash at the sheriff's office. We'll have more on the counterfeit bills ahead on WKYT News at 4:30. A strange and tragic story here. A Fort Campbell soldier was killed after being stung by wasps and walking out into traffic. Investigators told the Tennessean that the 21-year-old was under the influence after a party. They say he was confused and broke into a landscaping company and put his hand in a wasp nest. And that's when police say the soldier called 911 saying he was being chased. 15 minutes later, police got a call that a pedestrian had been hit. Kentucky Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes leading an election integrity task force meeting today. That meeting comes before the November 8th general election. Kentucky voters will cast ballots for President, U.S. Senate, and U.S. House of Representatives. The ballots will also be cast for 100 seats in the Kentucky House of Representatives and half the seats in the Kentucky Senate, as well as one seat on the Kentucky Supreme Court. We'll have more from the meeting ahead on WKYT News at 5 o'clock. That's a look at some of the news in progress. Amber, back to you.
Sam, thank you. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. As Donald Trump's poll numbers continue to slip, the Clinton campaign is working to clean up another email mess. The State Department is fighting off attacks that an official tried to cut a deal with the FBI to have an email unclassified. Stacey Cohen reports.
There was no quid pro quo. There was no bargain.
Is it another October surprise? Newly released documents have led to allegations of a quid pro quo bargain between the State Department and the FBI over Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server during her time as Secretary of State. According to FBI notes taken during the investigation, Undersecretary of State Patrick Kennedy urged the FBI to declassify one of the emails in question. During one interview, a different FBI official said he told the State Department he'd look into the email if State looked into his request for personnel in Iraq. State Department spokesperson John Kirby says there was absolutely no deal made.
No, there's not only is there no proof, it's absolutely not true. Completely false allegation.
At a press conference on Tuesday, President Obama weighed in, saying there's nothing here.
The accounts that have been put out there are just not true.
This is a bigger event than Watergate.
Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump seized on the document release, tweeting pay to play, collusion, cover-ups, and now bribery.
This is a felony corruption.
The real question now may not be what really happened, but rather how will this further impact voters' trust in Clinton, where the latest twist in the never-ending email controversy will unquestionably be among the questions she faces in Wednesday night's debate. I'm Stacey Cohen reporting.
Billy Bush is out as one of the co-hosts of the Today Show. NBC News has fired Bush. It comes 10 days after a 2005 tape was made public, which showed Bush and Donald Trump having a vulgar conversation about women. At that time, Bush was the host of Access Hollywood. Bush has said he was embarrassed and ashamed by what was on that tape. He had only been with the Today Show for about 2 months. Fazoli's is planning to hire hundreds of people across the country today, including right here in the Bluegrass. The details in Money Watch. And Netflix adds more new members than expected. That's coming up.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Lexington-based Fazoli's is hoping to hire hundreds of new employees today. That begins today's Money Watch. It is part of the Italian restaurant chain's National Signing Day. It will be held at more than 100 of its restaurants. If you're interested, you can apply for jobs, interview, and possibly even be hired on the spot. All 7 Fazoli's restaurants in Lexington are taking part. You can apply for jobs until 6 tonight. Netflix shares surged in after-hours trading by as much as 20%. The streaming service is getting a major boost from original programming like the surprise summer hit Stranger Things and Narcos. Netflix said it added more than 3.5 million international subscribers in the third quarter, beating expectations. A majority of Americans are tightening their monthly spending belts. Bankrate.com found nearly 2 in 3 Americans have trimmed how much they spend each month. The #1 reason was to save more money, followed by stagnant income and then worries about the economy. For many, debt is an ugly 4-letter word. It can cripple college students and working families. The country's debt has also become a dominant theme in the presidential election. But there are things you can do now to pay down your debt. Mary Maloney explains.
The average American is $3,600 in credit card debt, says the Motley Fool. But that number doesn't really explain the full debt depiction. Here's the good news. More than 60% of American households carry no credit card debt. If they do swipe that card, the balance is paid off every month. Now for the bad news. Value Penguin crunched the numbers and found those households that do carry debt have an average balance of $16,000. That's 10% higher than it was 3 years ago. If you add credit card interest into the mix, the number skyrockets. To help you pay down debt, the experts at Motley Fool have handy tips. Stop using credit cards. Instead, pay in cash or use a debit card. If you do need to go with a card, compare offers. Look for 0% introductory APR offers or zero balance transfer fees. But make sure you know when the APR goes up and try to pay your balance down before then. Also, opening up a new card can ding your credit report. Pay often and pay more than the minimum balance. Chip away at your debt $1 at a time. It will add up. And if you can put more money towards your card, do it. You don't want to be stuck with more debt because of interest fees. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
Officials in Germany are calling out Tesla on its use of the word autopilot, saying it's simply misleading. German authorities are asking the automaker to stop using that word for its driver assistance program, which features lane control and traffic-aware cruise control. In May, a person was killed in Florida when a Tesla Model S crashed. Airbnb is offering a spooky Halloween sleepover. The winner of a special promotion will get to sleep in 2 velvet-lined coffins at Dracula's castle in Romania. It's the first time since 1948 anyone has slept there. You can apply by using your vampire wit to imagine what you would say to Count Dracula if you met him.
It's a food drive called Share a Smile, how you can take part and help feed the hungry here in Jessamine County. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about today.
Windy, warm out there across the Bluegrass State, but the warm wind will soon turn into a chilly wind, and I'll show you how thunderstorms will usher in the chill with a new hour-by-hour forecast. That's next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Well, we continue to deal with the summertime pattern. It's been a heck of a fall so far, much warmer than normal. It's getting ready to change, though, over the next couple of days. Here's the current setup, though. See that big area of high pressure that's out in the Atlantic? Watch how the winds around high pressure go clockwise, and that flow takes those winds across Florida into the Gulf of Mexico and then toward the north into the Ohio Valley, including right here in the Bluegrass State. So you've got this pipeline of summertime, but it's changing behind this front. You start to see the cool down gradually from the 80s to the 70s to the 60s. The second front, though, is just now entering the United States out of Canada. That's got the big blast of cold coming in behind that, and that's what arrives in here as we go into the day on your Thursday. Between now and then, it is still awfully warm, 80 to 85 right now across most of central and eastern Kentucky. No records in the Bluegrass region, but a couple of degrees shy so far. Defender Radar Network, clouds trying to pick up the pace a little bit. To our north, clouds are increasing, and those clouds will likely spit out a shower or thunderstorm as we get deeper into the evening. And again, it's that flow with the front right on top of the region that can give us an isolated shower or storm this evening. Now, through the day tomorrow, Not going to rain all the time, but you're going to have to dodge a scattered thunderstorm or two. I think the chances are better I-64 and down the BG Parkway and north from there than, let's say, across southern and southeastern Kentucky, where I don't think you see a whole lot tomorrow. Here's the hour-by-hour forecast that will illustrate that, he says, quite well. Through 11 this evening, notice how that little boundary slips to the south. Scattered thunderstorm around early tomorrow morning. Quite the temperature gradient from north to south as well. 80 to 85 across the south, but look at this. If you get under a shower or thunderstorm, you may stay low 70s tomorrow afternoon. That'll lift its way back to the north, and here comes the area of low pressure in the cold front into the day on our Thursday. Showers, thunderstorms, that is underdone. I'll tell you that right now on Thursday. Heading into Thursday evening, the temperature trend continues, and those showers are too far east on Friday morning. We'll slow that system down. I hate when these models update on me right as we go on air and we don't agree with them. But the overall trend, though, shows that quite well, where you're going to get the rain into town, and it's going to put down some decent amounts compared to what we have seen so far. Here's the temperature set up with that front. You get this low to work its way right on into the area. By Thursday evening, front is through, so we bring the chilly air and the colder air on in. And by the time you get into Friday and Friday night, now we're talking about a very cold wind blowing. Notice how those colors get blue across the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes. That low is going to really wrap up across New England. Behind that, we could see temperatures deep into the 30s to start out the day on Saturday. And this setup, by the way, may produce the first flakes of the season for areas as close by as the highest mountains of West Virginia. Yeah, you thought we were going a different direction there, huh? 80-ish tomorrow. Low 70s Thursday, gusty winds, rain, thunderstorms, high percentage on that one. And the chilly air takes hold Friday into Saturday as we see those highs in the 50s. Look at that low Saturday morning down to 35. Let's get a check on live drive traffic. Here's Officer Don.
Well, no collisions in the city right now. Just had a look at the interstate, and 75's moving okay. Of course, we still have the lane closure on Nicholasville Road at Man of War. That's the construction zone there as they continue to work. They're monitoring that this afternoon, and nothing significant popping up. Drive time still okay to Versailles. It looks about normal. Less than 15 minutes to Nicholasville. Georgetown's running about 16 from Lexington. Now back to you in the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. It is time for the 2016 Holiday Smiles Food Drive, an opportunity for you to help out many needy families. Deanne Stevens is out and about today. She joins us from Jessamine County with more. Hi, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are preparing for something very cool happening here in Jessamine County. It's an opportunity for you to take part in sharing a smile, and we're doing that. You guys can start unloading now, by the way. They're all like, Deanne, when can we put all this food down? We're doing that by helping out with the Share a Smile food drive. Terry is with us from MR Bishop office here in Jessamine County. And you guys, this is the second year you've done this, right?
Actually, yes, it is, and we're very excited to be helping with the community, and the food drive has become bigger and better every year, so we're so excited for everyone to help us share in this great thing for our community.
Clearly you saw a need for this, Terry. Talk a bit about that, and then how in turn, after seeing that need, you reached out to the community and so many people are helping out.
Yes, last year when our goal was to feed 5 families last year. We exceeded that, and we saw such a need for more. Our goal is to raise 100 turkeys this year, and we're at 51 right now currently. So we hope to feed 100 families this year.
And you can do it with a lot of folks' help. Now, not only are you asking the public to help out with this, but you've got all of these different offices that are involved, right?
Yes, we do. We have White, Greer, and Maggard Orthodontics. We have Kentucky Center for Oral and Maxillofacial, and we have Kentucky One Health. So they're all helping in this great cause, and it's going great so far. We just need to keep pushing.
There's different donation centers where you guys can drop off. I don't mean to interrupt, but just shout out where folks can start dropping food off.
Kentucky Center for Oral Surgery, 203 Fairfield Drive.
Okay, White, Greer, and Maggard.
They can drop it off at our Nicholasville office, which is also on Fairfield Drive.
Okay, and you can also drop it off here at the MR Bishop, I almost had it, MR Bishop office, which is on Eder Drive, right off of the main drag here in Nicholasville. Correct. In Jessamine County. So here's the deal. There's also a little bit of a surprise for folks who want to take part in this. We're going to talk more about that coming up at 4:50, and I'll just give you a little sneak peek. It involves some UK tickets. So coming up at 4:50, we'll talk more about that. Get in on it now. Feeding the hungry here in Jessamine County. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
A simple tip for people with type 2 diabetes that's ahead in Better Living. And researchers suggest some women may be able to cut back on cervical cancer screenings. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $20 million, and tomorrow night's Powerball jackpot is $136 million. It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Short walks after meals can help manage diabetes. New research finds a short walk after eating can help people with type 2 diabetes keep their blood sugar levels under control. Doctors in New Zealand found blood sugar levels fell 22% for patients taking a brief walk after dinner compared to patients taking longer walks at other times of the day. Heart patients who love their coffee may not have to cut back on it after all. That's according to doctors in Brazil who found no association between caffeine consumed and irregular heartbeats in people with chronic heart problems. And Harvard researchers suggest women may be able to cut back on cervical cancer screenings from current recommendations of every 3 years to once every 5 to 10 years. They say growing numbers of women vaccinated against human papillomavirus are now at lower risk of the disease. All right, let's head over to Chris for another check of that weather. And Chris, today is a hang on to your hat kind of day.
It is. And you know what? If you're driving a big vehicle, if you're a truck driver out there, today's one of those white knuckle days. You got both hands on the steering wheel because the winds are making you do this out there, kind of blowing you all over the place. Had a gust earlier into central Kentucky at 40 miles per hour. Imagine the winds as the front gets in here on Thursday. We're going to be rocking and rolling for a little while. Today, it is a warm wind, 80 to 85, mix of sun and clouds, though the clouds are increasing from the north. And eventually, we'll see a shower or thunderstorm developing later this evening into the overnight. That will be the first sign of the big changes that are on the way. And we will break down those changes straight ahead at WKYT News at 4:30, and it starts now.